Hi there, everyone. I'm Mary Sturgill, and I want to welcome you to this edition of the Carolina Crescent. The Crescent is the region of North and South Carolina that spans from Asheville, North Carolina, down to Spartanburg and Greenville, over to Anderson, and then just skirts the edge of the Nantahala National Forest back up to Asheville. It's a place where innovation meets conservation. It's a place where wonderful resilience gives way to tons of outdoor recreation, and it's a place where the community creates a fabulous culture here. And today we are at Hagood Mill in Pickens County, and I'm going to share with you all the great things that you and your family can do here for very little money. That's the best part. So join me on this edition of the Carolina Crescent. I spoke with Billy Crawford, who's the director of the Hagood Mill Historic Site, the Heritage Pavilion, and the Hagood Creek Petroglyph Site, which is all right here on the Hagood Mill property. And there's lots to see and do here. Talk to me a little bit about that wheel. Is huge. You said it's how big?
Yes, it's a 20-foot overshot wooden water wheel. Weighs 12,500 pounds. So it can run multiple pieces of equipment inside the mill. We have the stones that turn that mill are about 1,600 pounds a piece.
Wow.
So it can run 2 stones. It runs everything all the way down to our ceiling fans inside. So we can have multiple pieces of equipment going at the same time. So this wheel, with its size, provides a lot of torque and stuff. So it can run all sorts of equipment at one time. Traditionally, the wheels are around 8 to 10 to 12 foot max. This 20-foot water wheel, at the time it was built in 1845, you couldn't get a better mill at the time. It was state of the art.
You've said that you've had to replace the actual wheel 3 times. Like, who builds that?
Right. So yeah, just not anybody can come out and start building the wheel. We last replaced the wheel back in 2016. The wheels is probably going to get about 30 years of service. Ours hopefully will get a little bit more of that. The worst thing for a water wheel is the sun and UV rays. So ours stays in the shade most of the time.
Right.
And it is made of white oak, which is a tight grained wood, which prevents anything from really penetrating down into the wood. So it lasts a lot longer than, say something that might be built out of pine or something like that.
And it's built to specifics per the Historic Society,
right?
The registry.
Yes, we had one of the top 3 millers in millwrights in all of North America come and build this. A guy named Ben Hassett built this wheel. We're with a society called the Society for the Preservation of Old Mills. It's called SPOON. And so we got with those folks to recommend someone to come out and build this wheel for us. And so basically the guy came down and did shot specs on the old wheel. He was in Missouri, I think, at the time whenever he was putting this wheel together. So basically he went there to Missouri and basically built this thing up there and then shipped it down here in pieces, and we put it back together.
Yeah.
And whenever it was brought down here, it was so precise. We had to move something, I think, about a ½ inch to get it in perfect balance. So that tells you the skill and talent involved with the millwright that we had to do this project.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap project. That did cost. We had to save money for years and years and years to pay for it, but it's worth it. It helps keep us on the register for National Historic Places, and we got one of the best millwrights. It's something to be proud of. It's something that the citizens around this town and the community can be proud of.
Yeah.
And we want everybody to come out and just see it and enjoy it and just feel it. Feel the rhythm of the mill as you're inside and the mill's running. It's just it's a wonderful feeling, and it's something, it's sustainable. It runs off, doesn't need electricity for anything. Right. So it's back to the old days.
Yeah.
We could survive if we needed to here and grind and make all sorts of products and do all sorts of things at this site in general.
Yeah.
That's basically what we're there for, sustainability. We can make our own clothes, grow our own food, and produce all these things that, folks are doing without electricity, without running water and all these types of things. Right. So that's basically what we're promoting here.
And that's one of the things that we, with the Carolina Crescent, talk about is the sustainability of this region. And part of that, you guys celebrate in showing how our forefathers, did the work and sustained themselves. And so why is it so important to keep that Appalachian history alive?
It's definitely important to be keeping that Appalachian history alive, especially with our youth. One of the things that we promote We get in with the school districts around the state. Actually, we have visitors coming from around the state to show kids what it was like, that people can live without Walmart down the street or Lowe's, and that we can sustain our own life ways. We can cook our own food, we can grind our own corn, we can produce our own tools. One of the biggest parts of this site is the educational aspect. So if anyone's interested in coming out, we can teach them old gardening techniques, homesteading techniques. We do log hewing, how to build the cabins, and we even do our moonshine steel workshops sometimes.
Yeah.
And in addition, we do our old time music workshops. We have a whole program built around Appalachian music. It's that's in the schools in this area. It's called YAMS, Young Appalachian Musicians.
Yes.
It's a wonderful program. It teaches kids Appalachian music and heritage and culture, and they learn how to play these old-time instruments without really reading music, but just how to play by ear and enjoy.
Which is how most of the old folks learned how.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they weren't really reading music.
Right.
So they're doing a very traditional art and craft there, and we're producing a lot of great musicians as a result as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. My grandfather was a music instrument maker, and he played every instrument, and he learned by ear.
That's right. We have some great musicians that come through here. Each and every month you could find all sorts of Heritage Award winning musicians and other craftsmen and artists and stuff on the grounds of Hagood Mill. Yeah.
Very cool.
Some of the activities that we have going on today, we have our old time blacksmith shop that folks can come and watch the blacksmith use the old hand bellows and stuff like this. We have a moonshine still that we still operate today. We have a cotton gin that folks can check out and watch how the cotton seed is taken from the cotton. We have a 1791 cabin, which is in the background there, that we do open hearth cooking demonstrations out of. We have an 1820 cabin over there, which is a fiber arts cabin that we do the spinning and weaving and knitting and all sorts of stuff like that. We also have an old-fashioned loom in there that's still in operation. Some of the other things that we do we do the chair caning, bowl digging, we do leathersmith, we do, silversmiths, we do the kick wheel pottery, old style pottery. So all sorts of things that we have going on out here for educational purposes. We have 3 miles of nature trails that you can get off and get secluded. We have all sorts of rare medicinal plant species, all sorts of different mushrooms and stuff. So there's a little something for everyone that comes out. We also have a disc golf course out here for the rec enthusiasts. You can come out and play a 9-hole disc golf course. We also have a Native American petroglyph site. Actually, there's a rock outcrop by the creek upstream, and Native Americans have been passing through here and carving on that rock for a couple of thousand years. And we found artifacts on this site that date back all the way to 6,000 years ago. So there's a rich history there of the Native history. We have the pioneer and colonial history associated with this site as well. Each month, on the third Saturday of each month, we have different events, anything ranging from outdoor recreation, health and wellness type events and homesteading type events to banjo extravaganza, where we give you the history of the banjo all the way from the African gourd instrument all the way through to the banjo that we know today. So that's a big event for us. We also host the South Carolina State Old Time Fiddling Championship every September, and so we have a couple of thousand people visit us for that. It's a weekend-long event where you can come and camp and just enjoy old-time music at its best. We do a Native American festival every November. That's a weekend-long event as well. We have Native Americans from all around the region come, and we do they're representing their culture and heritage, and we're doing the singing and the dancing and the drumming and all the primitive life ways and life skills associated with that. So it's a very popular event for us as well. One special event that we have coming up this year, we're in a collaboration with the South Carolina State Entertainers Hall of Fame, and we're doing the Watermelon Crawl Festival out here on July the 27th. And so that should be a lot of fun. It's all things watermelon, and actually the song, the writer of that song will be here performing that song, so it's kind of based around that theme. So we'll be doing the dancing, watermelon seed spitting contest, just all sorts of fun things going on, and it'll be July 27th, and just enjoy a great summer's afternoon. It'll be mainly a country type show that day, but a lot of fun going on out here for that.
So if a family wants to come here, it's like $5 for parking?
Yeah, well, we're open Wednesday through Saturday. 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. The only time we ever really charge for anything is on our third Saturday events. It's a $5 parking fee. Some of the events may be a $5 per person fee, but usually kids under 10 are free always.
Yeah.
It just depends on which event that we have going on.
Like I would imagine the Fiddlers Convention.
Yeah, the Fiddlers Convention's usually $5 a person,
Yeah.
and there's a camping fee, which is very minimal, around $10 a person to camp out here all weekend.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not. You can't go anywhere and have this much fun and learn this much for such a cheap price.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an incentive to get folks to come out and enjoy our site.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Billy, thank you so much for talking to us today. I really appreciate it. That does it for this edition of the Carolina Crescent. We hope that you enjoyed your time here at the Hagood Mill just as much as we did. By the way, if you have ideas for us for the shows, for the Carolina Crescent shows, or articles or blogs, just go to our website, thecarolinacrescent.com, and submit those to us. And you never know, we may be out to see you one day. And by the way, follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram to keep up with where we're going and what we're doing and how we're celebrating life here in the Carolina Crescent. Until next time, I'm Mary Sturgill. Get out there and enjoy the Crescent.